So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by top trainer Billy Nelson. Billy, how are you, mate?
Everyone's good.
Glad to hear it. We interviewed you. My colleague Josh Green spoke to you a few weeks ago, and he suggested a potential fight between Martin Bakole and Dillian Whyte. You felt at the time there was no need for that fight. You're obviously working towards the WBA eliminator that's been ordered for Martin. But then I saw a headline yesterday on Boxing Social saying you're calling out Dillian Whyte. What's changed, if anything?
That wasn't the case. That was his interpretation. He asked me a question, would you fight Dillian Whyte? And I said, of course we'd fight Dillian Whyte. Why would we not fight Dillian Whyte? He's a top fighter. Martin's a top fighter. I think it'd be a cracking fight while it lasted. That was how I answered it, but he interpreted it as if I'm calling out Dillian Whyte. I've no need to call it Dillian Whyte for Martin. If Dillian Whyte wants to fight Martin, his people know how to get in touch with us. We take that fight, as I said, a heartbeat, no problem whatsoever. Any of the British heavyweights, and I mean any of them, but they know that. So,
just on the subject of Dillian Whyte, how much can we take from his return against Christian Hammer?
How can you take anything for a man that's renowned for downing tools, just stopping a fight mid-fight? It got him a couple of rounds. That's what it got him. He openly said he's going to have another one, maybe two fights before he pursues a bigger fight. And he will get a bigger fight because he's still a name. But let's get him up. If he wants the Martin Bakole fight, get in touch.
And last we heard about Martin with the WBA, they ordered a final eliminator between him and Cassius Chaney back in January. What's the latest on that?
It's happening on the 31st of May.
Brilliant. Over here or in the US?
I think the country's still to be decided. I think it's a toss-up between two.
Okay, all right. And boxer involved in it at all, or is it a different promoter?
It's a different promoter.
Okay.
No, for us, the different promoter is running. It's Dunking.
Okay. Still going strong, apparently. Let me ask you, there's been a bit of confusion online, but you can sort it out for us. Is it a final eliminator for the unified part of the WBA, the one that Usyk holds, or is it the WBA belt that Mahmoud Shah has?
The full title, as far as I'm aware.
Brilliant. So you'll have a keen eye then, even if you hadn't already, on Usyk against Fury, which will be, what, 2 weeks before Martin's fight?
Yeah. But they'll fight again before the mandatory will get called. That's, again, stalling, holding up the titles. But that's what it is. So they'll fight a second time, and then I fully expect the WBA to call for the mandatory against the winner of Usyk Fury.
Brilliant. Now, we'll talk about Usyk Fury in a minute. But tell us a little bit about Cassius Chaney, what you know of him, and what sort of threat he poses against Martin Bakole.
He's a big, strong guy, got a decent jab. Don't think he's very comfortable taking shots, especially downstairs, which will not do him any good against Martin. Overall, Martin's a far superior boxer than him, in my opinion.
And then, as you said, if Martin comes
I fully expect him to stop him.
If Martin comes through that WBA mandatory contender, he's already WBA #1, of course. Is there a fight between Fury and Usyk that you feel suits Martin's style better out of the two?
No, I would fight either of them. He's sparred both of them. Tyson Fury is an exceptional fighter, as is Usyk. Martin's no issues with southpaws whatsoever. Don't think Usyk would be super keen to fight him. No, but either or. It doesn't matter. As long as it's a world title fight, he doesn't care. And he'll be there going to try and win the world title against whoever it is.
And you said before about Martin being stalled. He's obviously had his setbacks. Do you think this world title fight, when it comes, probably next year, do you think it's come at the right time after all?
It's meant to be, isn't it? If it was meant to be beforehand, it would have been. So we just have to, Danny, we just have to take the opportunity when it arises. And I fully expect him to beat anybody. I do. I know what I see every day. Super talented guy. He really is. You know, he needs a fight. And say like, so when we beat Cheney, we need a Dillian Whyte kind of name, a Dillian Whyte, Joe Joyce, something like that. I personally, well, me as his manager, I'd personally risk taking that fight even before fighting the winner of Tyson and Usyk, because you know there's a wee gap that needs filled in, and it keeps him active as well. And it's a good name. Dillian Whyte's a great name. I just don't think Dillian Whyte would take the fight with Martin, to be quite honest with you.
All right,
but if he does want to fight, the fight, they know where I am.
And let's
just an offer.
Let's just touch on Fury Usyk for a moment. If you were in either camps, we'll do one at a time. What would you be advising that fighter to do? So starting with Fury, what does he need to do to emerge victorious against Usyk?
Fury will control the distance, will try and control the distance at longer range. His feet are so important in this fight. His feet have got to be very quick in this fight. Or quicker, should I say. And when Usyk's back hits the ropes, he's got to be within range at all times and not allow him to swivel off. He's fantastic at moving away to his right and then throwing a double jab over the top of your lead hand. He's absolutely brilliant at it. He's got to try and nullify that. He's done it continually against Anthony, and he's got Tyson's got to stop doing that, and he's got to hit the body.
And then the counterpoint to that, what does Usyk need to do?
Usyk's got to come. Obviously, he's got faster feet. He's got faster hands. He's got to have a high work rate, plenty of head movement. I think Usyk's just got to come and do what Usyk does. Really, you know, why would you want to change Usyk in any way, shape, or form? Do what he does best, and hope for the best.
Do you take anything from Tyson's subpar performance against Ngannou?
No. Because I know for a fact, before that fight that got cancelled there, he was looking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant in the gym. And I unfortunately got that cut.
So you would expect more of the same. I mean, certainly the pictures we've seen of him, he looks in great shape.
Well, he looks in good shape. He looks in much better shape.
Are you willing to pick a winner between Fury and Usyk?
Well, Fury will beat him.
Fury will very confident.
He'll stop him. I think he'll stop him.
Wow. Okay. Now, you talked about next steps for Martin in the meantime, because obviously Fury and Usyk are contracted to a rematch. You mentioned Dillian Whyte, of course. You also mentioned Joe Joyce. Before we talk about Joyce specifically, there was obviously some sparring footage released. I've seen some of your comments on that there were two separate sparring clips released, one by Martin and then one by Sam Jones, clearly from separate sessions because Martin's wearing different kit. But what did you make of the original Martin putting that original video out? Because some people frown upon sparring footage being put out.
No, but some people should keep their fucking mouth shut and not make past remarkable comments on them. That's why he put it up. So you get what you're given. And it wasn't a Joe. So I don't agree with it, but it got done and that was it. But the bullshit came after it, you know what I mean? Martin sparred, what's his name? Derek Chisora, Ian Lewisham, and Tom Little. 12 rounds, 4 each, and Big Don Charles's gym down in England.
Yeah.
And the place was rammed. The place was rammed with people. and they've seen Martin sick at the end of every single round in a bucket, projectile vomit. So it's not the first time it's happened. It certainly wasn't Joe Joyce's body shots that done it. But if they believe it was, as I've said, please go and show the full spar. Why have they not posted it? I'm telling you, it was nothing to do with body shots.
Do you feel that Martin should have put that first video out of him giving Joe a bit of a pasting?
No.
Would you say?
But
oh, go on.
But in the same respect, should people be trying to slaughter Martin Bakole? People that have never boxed in their life trying to slaughter somebody? No.
So Joe was either, should it? Collateral damage.
Listen, go and watch the interview that the two of them done with each other. Both of them have got the utmost respect for each other because they know that spar was a top spar. It was a cracking spar, or the one after, obviously after the interview that they done. It was a great spar. Both of the boxers have got total respect for it. It's just people make comments that they shouldn't have made comments on, in my opinion.
And we've seen Joe Joyce return to the ring.
If somebody's giving you a hard time, Danny, if somebody's giving you a hard time and you see that person, are you just going to walk past them like a shite bag and not say nothing? Or are you going to say something to them and let them know how you feel?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Joe Joyce returned to the ring recently against Cash Ali. For most people, it was an underwhelming performance, but he was coming off back-to-back defeats. Maybe that's to be expected. What did you make of it?
Well, I don't think you can expect a poor performance just because you've come off of two poor performances. What I would say was he was overweight and he didn't look as fit as what I've seen him anyway. I reckon he could have lost maybe 1.5 stone, 2 stone in weight. And he'll know that himself. You know what I mean? Maybe he never took Cash Ali seriously. And I'm sure he wishes he had, because it was like you say, an underwhelming performance. But listen, he'll win. He's won. He's got a great promoter, and the promoter will get him I hope a good fight, and he's got a cracking manager in Adam. So hopefully he gets a big fight because he's a cracking big guy.
And you talked about possible fights for Martin with Dillian Whyte and Joe Joyce. It might be a bit far-fetched because of his position and his status, but what about Anthony Joshua? Because he needs to fill that gap waiting for Fury and Usyk.
Why not? Eddie knows my number. Listen, Danny, Martin will fight anybody. Of that ilk, the ones that are up there that will get him nearer the world title fight. I mean, Anthony's number two, I think, in the WBA.
He is, yeah.
DeBo's number 3. Why is Martin's name never mentioned with these guys? Answer me that. Tell me why Martin's name's never mentioned by Anthony Joshua. Do you honestly think Daniel DeBo is better than Martin Bakole, or Joe Joyce is better than Martin Bakole, or Dillian Whyte where he is now? No chance. Absolutely zero. But people say, oh, he talks the same shit all the time. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all we're asking. Get the fight made. The amount of people that have said no to a fight is embarrassing. Embarrassing. So, the WBA said, final eliminate against Cheney, then this will happen and that happen. That's what we've done, and we'll follow what the organisation have said, and then we'll get the world title fight our way. And then you'll see them all want to fight Martin if and when he wins the world title. You know what I mean? It'll be role reversal. They've got the target on their back now. We'll have it on my back then. And that word no might get used to them, and they'll not like it. But it is unfair. It is shite. You know what I mean? They all say, oh, I want to give the fans the fights they want. They fuck. They want to. All they're interested in is no losing. If you get beat with, let's be honest, Martin's not very big commercial wise. We know that. We're well aware of where we are. If you get flattened with Martin Bakole, your career's done.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Really?
Pretty much.
So I can understand it for that. I can understand it for that perspective, but you know, you're a professional boxer, you're a fighter, pugilist. Get in there and fight them.
When he's a
Because
world
Martin's prepared to
champion,
fight whoever.
when he's a world champion, they're going to have to fight him, aren't they? So,
Oh, are they? Aye. The mandatory is going to have to fight them. We'll select the voluntaries. They'll be coming to us. Oh, 100%. 100%. The voluntaries will come to us, won't they? They'll say, "Oh, we can fight Martin now." Will you? Fuck off.
Brilliant.
Made us sit in my fucking tail for 2 years, 3 years. Oh, visualise it now. I can see it.
Talking of world title fights, one that we do expect to happen, most likely on June the 1st, is Daniel Dubois, who you were just talking about, and Filip Hrgovic for the vacant IBF, because we would expect that to be vacated on or around May the 18th when Fury and Usyk cross swords for the first time. What do you make of that fight? It looks like a pretty tough one for Dubois.
Dubois gets stopped. And then the winner fights AJ.
Yeah, that's what they're speculating at the moment.
Run about the same time as the rematch with Fury and Usyk.
So,
listen. I think Frank Warren has done a brilliant job for
Dubois.
Daniel. Absolute. As Sam Jones said the other day, best promoted boxer in the country. He really is.
Yeah.
And he should be very thankful. Listen, I hope, I don't really care who wins between the Daniel and Hrgovic, but I think Hrgovic will just be too tough for him.
I'd say Dubois best promoted and probably Anthony Yard second for similar reasons.
Well, he's done well. He's done well. I mean, I think it'll be a wee while he gets a third world title fight, mind you. But he's a good fighter. He could be one of these guys, unfortunately, that they say who's one of the better fighters that haven't won a world title for Britain. I hope I'm wrong, because I'd love to see him win it. But it could be falling into that category. It's looking that way, isn't it?
If he keeps winning, I think he'll get one more shot probably next year or the year after. But it's keep him winning in the meantime. They're talking about a Buatsi fight, I think, at the moment.
Aye, but you need to remember, in 2 years' time, he's 2 years older. 2 years more battle worn. He's late 20s, isn't he now?
Yeah, I think he's still younger than Bivol and Beterbiev, though, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But then they might have moved on anyway.
They'll move up. That's where they might get the opportunity after that unification fight. Both might go up to cruiser, maybe. You never know. And then all the belts get relinquished, and I'm sure Anthony could be in line for the WBO.
Yeah, the WBO could be any belt, but yeah, probably the WBO.
I'd put him FAB for the WBO.
We talked about Dubois, Hrgovic. You were pretty confident in your pick that Hrgovic could stop Dubois. Do you see Hrgovic giving Joshua any problems if that happens at the end of this year?
Aye, Hrgovic is a good fighter. Good fighter. You need to remember, see when he fought Zhang, and Zhang did beat him. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. His father had passed away not long before that fight, so his head would have been fried. And he just didn't look like Filip Hrgovic. But I've never seen Hrgovic turn away so many times in a fight. Have you?
No. I mean, in hindsight, he was clearly
a top
affected
fighter. He'll get it. 100%. He'll get it. He's a top fighter. He'll get anybody a hard fight. Anybody.
And just moving on.
I just think fast feet and fast hands would beat him, because he is slow. He's like Big Joe, but a little quicker.
Yeah, and maybe a bit better technically as well. No disrespect to Joe, of course.
But Joe punches harder than him.
Yes, yeah, that is true. Great equaliser. Just moving away from the heavyweight division, we saw Lewis Crocker put a good performance in last time out. What's the latest with him? What's next for him?
He'll be fighting in June in England.
Is that all you're going to give us?
Against a top 5 guy. against a top 5 guy in the WBA.
Oh, okay. So an eliminator, final eliminator, something like that, perhaps?
Not at my very no.
Okay. That's a shame. There's still time, though, before the fight.
Well, there could be. They might make it an eliminator. I wouldn't imagine it'll be a final eliminator because is Lewis in the top 15? Is he in the top 15?
I'm not sure, but you would imagine if he's fighting a number 5 guy or whatever, he'll soon be in the top 15.
Well, it'll be at least number 5 when he wins.
Yeah, when he wins, yeah. How pleased have you been with his progress since he's worked with you?
Oh, I've been pleased, but more importantly, he's pleased. He notices the difference. You can't change him too much, but you can implement different ring generalship, setting traps, which he's very, very good at anyway. You wouldn't change Lewis much because he has got ferocious power. But he's loving life here. He gets away from Belfast. He went home to watch MMA for a weekend there. I think it was last weekend, and fired straight back in the gym. You can't, you'll be hard pushed to find somebody that trains harder than him on a daily basis. Sometimes I give him a day off, just because he's just an animal in the gym, which is great. It's great to see. But you need to pull the reins in sometimes. I think he's gutted when you do it as well. But you've got to do it as a coach.
The fact that these top fighters are keen to come and train with you, given where you're based as well, because it's not, a central place to go to. No disrespect, I'm sure it's lovely, but it's not, a big thriving city where people can transport in easily. Is that a mark of respect that people have got for you as a trainer, that you attract these big names still?
That's really up to the boxers and the gym to make that assessment. What they think of me. I don't really care what other people think. People come to my gym for me to educate them. Most have been successful, a high percentage, which is good. It's good for everybody. But it's not. And you're talking about Scotland. I mean, I'm only 10 miles outside Glasgow. It's not as if we're on a different continent. All you've got to do is fly up to Glasgow. I pick you up, and I stay in a small village here where there's maybe, you're lucky if there's 1,500 people, 2,000 people. If that, everybody knows all the boxers. I mean, in this village, you've got Sultan Zorbek staying in my house. Crocker stays with another professional in his house. Martin stays in one of my other houses down the road. Who else is there? I'm getting another Congolese boxer coming. He's 18-1. He's Martin's brother-in-law. Okay. He's a light middleweight. He's had 17 wins, 17 knockouts, and the only defeat he's had is against Ismail Madmarov, and he went the distance with him. This boy's a good fighter.
Sounds it, yeah.
Trying to get him some fights in the UK. I'm trying to get him some fights in the UK. Great sparring for Crocker, and I've got a novice in the gym. He's only 4 or 5-0. Ryan, who lost all the weight and came to the gym to lose weight. Great experience for him, sparring with him.
It sounds like everything's going brilliantly at the moment.
Well, long may it continue. We've worked hard. Even when things were a lot quieter, still in the gym every day, trying your best. You can only try your best. And if your best's not good enough, then so be it. But nobody will give any more than me in the gym to my boxers.
Glad to hear it. Billy, really appreciate your time, as always, and let's catch up again soon.